Oh man, with Spoonfedsportz back again. Got my man Joe in the building. Joe, tell the people what we got going on today.
Yo, what's good? We're talking about the NBA MVP today. We're going to get into the Sweet 16, it's March Madness Club. And we're going to talk a little bit about opening day, man. Baseball season is upon us.
Let's go. So, hey, let's kick it off on the NBA, man. It's real hot right now. Right now, man, who would you say is your NBA MVP?
It's actually only Shea for me, man. I think he deserves to go back to back. I think, Jokic will get some votes. Kane can definitely be right there in the conversation, but I don't know if they're going to let him get that, especially with this latest injury, the lung injury. I think Shea's got to be the front runner. At least he's the front runner for me.
Okay. So, obviously, I'm not being biased. MVP right now, it got to be Luka Doncic, man. It got to be Luka, man. Lakers done won 9 straight. Over the course of the last 9, Luka averaging 40 points a game. Right? They didn't beat the Rockets back-to-back games on the road, which is something that early in the season they wouldn't have been able to do. And I also got to take into account the games that SGA has missed. The Thunder have been able to win games without SGA. And not even just like barely win games. They've been able to win games on average by 15 to 17 points without him. Right? So it does have an impact on this MVP case. But if I had a runner-up, I would definitely take SGA. For me, Nikola, I just can't put him up there this year. The triple-double thing is cool, but it kind of is taking its course. Harden done it. Russell done it. Joker done it. Like, it's just not impressive anymore. And when you watch games like we watch games, I've seen games where Jokic has come out and had 12 assists in the first half with like 6 points. It's almost like he's hunting the triple-double. So it doesn't have the same impact to me as it used to. So for me, Luka would be my MVP at 1. SGA would be 2nd. I am penalizing SGA a little because of his team's success without him on the floor. And I've seen how the Lakers have struggled without Luka on the floor. Right? So that's where I stand with it. Now, as a Mavs fan, I understand it's hard for you to get, hard for you to swallow this pill. But Luka's MVP right now, bro. You got to get over it and let it go.
I've seen Luka have better seasons and not even be in the top 3. So
he wearing the purple and gold now.
I don't expect him to win. I mean, really, he's been hot. He's been killing ever since he got separated from his fiance and battle for his kids. My man been on some I'm gonna kill everybody tip, but I don't know, man. The NBA don't like to vote for Luka, so I don't see Luka being MVP. I wouldn't be mad at it, but I just can't see it, man.
Got you. So shifting gears, man. Top 5 teams in the NBA right now. Right? I know we did this about a month ago, a little before All-Star break. We got into it a little bit around Christmas. Like now we're coming down to the wire. We're about to be at playoff time. What's your top 5 squads, East or Western Conference, biggest threats to actually hold up the trophy at the end of the season?
To me, biggest threats to hold up the trophy, man. You gotta start with the Thunder. Like I said, they haven't been healthy and they still gonna win 60 games. You gotta go with the Spurs, Wemby, Castle, Fox, Vassell. That team is loaded. Depending on what happens with Cade, I want to put the Pistons in there, but it all depends on his health. I know they said it may be a while at first, but then the latest rumor kind of was like, it might only be a couple weeks. So if Cade can be back by, I'm going to say round 2, they can get to round 1 without him. If he's back by round 2, I would say the Pistons. The Celtics, of course, he don't look like his old self. But just having him on the floor, you got to respect him being out there. And then my 15, man, it would probably be the Lakers. It would probably round my top 5, man. It's kind of a toss-off, but I'll give it to you.
Okay. So I might surprise you with my top 5, which won't be nothing new. My top 5 teams to win the NBA championship are the top 5 seeds in the Western Conference. When I look at the East with Detroit, like Cade's injury, even with Cade healthy, Detroit needs another guy that can actually create shots when Cade gets off the floor, or if Cade decides, if he wears down during the course of a playoff run. That scares me with Detroit. So I would take them out. Boston, I'm going to tell you, prior to Jason Tatum's return, I felt much better about Boston than I do now, right? I'm not sure. I understand that Tatum wanted to come back. I understand that he wants to get back out on the floor. He's rehabbed from the Achilles injury. I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's ready yet, right? And that's, to me, that's impacted their chemistry. We saw that last night. They lost at home to Minnesota. Minnesota without Anthony Edwards. They go into Boston and win by double figures. The Knicks, they don't truly have a number 2 scorer night in and night out. It's supposed to be Karl Anthony Towns, but it's just not, right? So Jalen Brunson, we had this conversation, right? These guards, 6'3" and under, how many of them have won championships, right? You go outside of Steph Curry, it's hard to find them.
Yeah.
It's hard to find them. You have to surround them with great 3-and-D guys, and that's typically not what you're going to find today on a whole roster. So the New York Knicks, I would take out of that championship contender spot. The Cleveland Cavaliers would be the closest thing to me to making the finals out of the Eastern Conference and actually being able to win it. But damn, you got to depend on James Harden in the playoffs, bro.
And that's why I would never put him in my top 5.
That right there is scary. Those are the only 4 teams in the East that I even, that's it, right? I can't put any of them in my top 5. So my top 5 would go like this. It would go to OKC Thunder. It would go to San Antonio Spurs at 2. Lakers, 3. I would say Nuggets, 4. Rockets, 5. And it's really all going to depend on matchup, and it's going to depend on health. The one thing about the NBA playoffs is this. You get time between games. You're not playing back-to-backs. That's the one thing that can really benefit a team like the Lakers, who don't play 9, 10 guys a night, right? They're not the Thunder. The Thunder and the Spurs, they go deep into their bench, right? We saw that with the Thunder last year in the playoffs on their way to a title run. That's going to be the key, is the matchup piece. If the Lakers get matched up with Minnesota again, they will go home again. That's just a bad matchup. Bro, it's a bad matchup. It's a bad matchup. It's a horrible matchup because of how athletic Minnesota's wings are, on top of the fact that they have Rudy Gobert. It's not a good matchup for them. So here's the thing, right? And this is how I'm going to break it down, and I'll let you take it over. This is how I look at it. You say on paper, obviously it's not even close. Nikola is way better than Rudy as a basketball player, right? This is where it gets tricky, though. The Lakers need LeBron. They need Austin to be able to attack the rim. Nikola is not a defensive threat. So they feel very comfortable playing Denver because they know they can get any shot they want, anytime they want, going to the lane. Jokic ain't going to stop that. The problem they run into when they play Minnesota is Rudy Gobert at the rim contest those shots, and now it forces them to kick the shooters on the perimeter, which means Marcus Smart, Roy, Kennard, those guys are going to have to hit threes. If they can't hit threes, the Lakers are going to go home. Whereas, though, if they play in Denver, I know Austin Reeves and LeBron are going to be able to finish at the rim. There's no shot blocker there. So if I'm the Lakers, I would much rather play Denver than run into a Minnesota. Not to mention Anthony Edwards is better than Jamal Murray, right? The loss of Michael Porter Jr. has been crucial to Denver, I feel like, all season. I don't think they've been able to replace his production or his size on the perimeter as well. So if I'm the Lakers, I want to play Denver. And then the Spurs series, you figure out what happens there. You're banking on inexperience at that point because the Spurs got the better squad.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from with the Minnesota and the Lakers matchup. I guess I would think about it from a different angle. I agree with you. The Lakers don't match up well, but I think it's more defensively than offensively.
Okay.
Because having Luka and Kennard and Reeves trying to guard McDaniels and Edwards is just a bad move. So I think that's where it comes in more than anything, because I think like Luka's used to putting Gobert in that switch pick and roll situation.
Yeah.
So you can bring him away from the basket. But can you stop him on the other end? I think that's really where the issue comes in. The Nuggets, I agree, the Nuggets aren't as good without MPJ. But they just seem to have the Lakers number, man. Like it always just seems to come down to a shot here or, some heroics by Jamal Murray or whatever it is. So I do think it's a better matchup. I just like the historical thing with y'all and Nuggets just ain't good. The Rockets, we talk about the Rockets all year. I like the Rockets team, but them not having a true point guard still bothers me. If they would have went out and signed Chris Paul, even though he older than Chris Paul, I would feel a lot better about that.
Yep.
Because they got the athletes, they got the defenders, they got the size, but they don't have anybody really orchestrate the offense. I feel like the offense is just kind of like me and my homeboy got together when we about to run five. Like it ain't, it ain't nothing really strategic to it. So for me, they have a real line. I do feel like the Spurs are a legitimate threat to the Thunder.
Yeah.
With what they got out there, with the multiple bodies they can throw at SGA, Harper, Vassell, Castle, being able to throw all three of them boys at them. Plus they got the other boy on that.
You went out. Your audio went out. There you go. Yep.
Sorry about that. But yeah, they got a good balanced team. I think they'll be right there with the Thunder. And I honestly want to see that series, man. That's all I want to see the Western Conference Finals. Those two going at it.
You went out again. I know what you got going on. That's because you keep talking bad about this purple and gold. That's what the problem is. That's what what you really want to see is the Lakers and Thunder. That's what you really want to see. If we being honest, that's what you really want to see. It's just going to burn your soul to see Luka take the Lakers to the NBA Finals. But you're going to have to deal with it one way or another. You're going to have to deal with it, bro. Let Joe get himself fixed back up. But yeah, I think some of the things we're starting to see unfold. You good? You back up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my fault. I don't think the Lakers have enough. And that's not me being a hater. Luka's still my guy, even though he in the wrong color jersey. I think that the Lakers are missing at least another shooter. Because while they picked up Kennard, and Kennard's a good shooter, that's all Kennard is. He's another liability on defense. So now you got three white guys, no offense to any of our viewers, that can't guard against athletic wings, whether it be from the Timberwolves, the Rockets, or whoever it might be. If they do meet the Spurs, just defensively, it's a bad look. Offensively, I think the Lakers can score with just about anybody right now because Luka's going to give you 40. But can they stop them? Your big man is DeAndre. Sometimes I play, sometimes I don't. It don't bring confidence to me. That's it.
No, I get it. I see what you're saying. All right, bro. Let's switch gears. Your squad's still in it right now. I can't even really. You know what? I do claim a squad. It's more so because of the coach. Huge Coach Cal fan, so I'm obviously pulling for Arkansas. Sweet 16, men's Sweet 16. What is the most intriguing matchup that you're looking forward to in the Sweet 16?
I believe it's Duke St. John's.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see that one. That's gonna be a game. St. John's is a physical, scrappy team that has some size and athleticism to throw at Duke. And we got to remember, Duke's not 100% right now. So I think St. John's is a team that can possibly get them out of there.
Okay. So I like what St. John's was able to do yesterday. I mean, that full court pressure, the way they basically just harassed Kansas the entire game. Like, that's not something you see a lot of teams go to, right? The depth of St. John's has played a huge role as well. And obviously, when it comes as far as when you say coaching matchups, that's going to be one of the more intriguing coaching matchups as well. So I'm with you. As far as that's concerned, Duke St. John's, I think it's going to be a great one. For me, the one that I'm looking forward to the most is actually including this squad, Michigan. Bro, I want to see Michigan, Alabama, right? And the reason why, Alabama might be one of the few teams left in the field that can actually match Michigan as far as firepower is concerned. Right. One thing about there will be no lack of points in that game.
No.
That could be a 95-90 type of score. It's going to feel like an NBA game. The pace of the game is going to be high. The intensity of the game is going to be high. Alabama's not afraid to take any shot. One thing that Michigan has that no one else has, though, is size. All right, they're able to wear you down with offensive rebounds and second chance points. And they don't just have big men. They have athletic big men. Big men that consistently run the floor. They can start the break. They get the rebound. They can make the outlet pass and get the fast break going. Michigan's my pick to win the national championship. I felt that way. Even after the Duke loss, I felt that way. I don't really believe Duke is – I don't believe they'll make the Final Four. I don't. I believe the St. John's actually knock them off in the Sweet 16. But I believe that Michigan game with Alabama, for me, that's the most intriguing game heading into the Sweet 16.
I've been pleasantly surprised by Alabama, man, because I thought them losing the other guard, the kid that got in trouble for the marijuana possession.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to be in trouble because him and Firelaw make one of the best backcourts there are in the country. And so I'm thinking, okay, without them, they might be good. But they haven't missed a beat there. They've been balling. They've been able to kind of interchange some pieces on the roster. Mm-hmm. But also, man, looking at the bracket as a whole, another matchup I like is that Arizona-Arkansas. That Arizona-Arkansas game, man, that's going to be crazy. No. That's going to be a crazy game because Arizona's a really good team, but they struggle scoring at times. And one thing Arkansas would do is put the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
So if Arizona falls into one of those walls, like one of those games where their jumpers are dropping, it could get ugly.
I was going to go Arizona, Arkansas was my second pick. And here's the thing about Arizona and Arkansas. If you look at the bracket, right, and you think about this from like Coach Cal perspective, he has to be thinking, if we beat Arizona, we play the winner of Purdue and Texas. Arkansas has a legit chance to be in the Final Four. All them Kentucky fans that wanted Coach Cal gone got to be kicking themselves because I saw Kentucky play yesterday.
Yeah.
They ain't got no talent, bro. Outside of Oweh, hey, look, Coach Cal might have been going home in the Sweet 16, but one thing he was doing is he was putting guys in the league and he could get talent. Now, that was pre-NIL era. Imagine what he would do with NIL money at Kentucky.
Top 3 class every year.
Oh, my God. You went to Arkansas and immediately Sweet 16.
Right.
But meanwhile, Kentucky home.
That boy Akon. I'm not. I think the tournament can add to your draft stock. And it can also subtract from it.
Yeah.
Bro, he's legit in the conversation for the number 1 pick.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Legit in the conversation. And honestly, the more and more I see that kid, he might be my number 1. I like the concept, but he's hit or miss. Like, Akon, outside of Boozer, when we've talked about Boozer, I'm sorry, Boozers are bullies. And you can bully guys in college at that size.
Yeah.
That's what his dad did.
Yeah.
Then he got in the league and ran into other bullies, and he turned into a role player at best. So, I think Akon has actual superstar potential. Then I'm going Peterson. Then I'm going Devonta. Then I'm going Boozer.
How Peterson jumped Devonta?
I think Peterson has a better all-around game.
Come on, bro. Come on.
That's my opinion, bro.
Akon, I'm with you on Akon. So, how tall is Akon, by the
way? I think he's 6'3", 6'4".
Okay. So, I like AJ. I like Akon. Peterson, I can't, bro. I'm going to tell you why I can't. It's a real Kawhi Leonard feeling with him.
Yeah, it is.
Peterson gives me real Kawhi Leonard vibes, bro. Like, I don't know if he's going to practice. I don't know if he's going to play. Then when he does play, it looks like he's going through the motions. Like, he's just a really weird player when I watch him. Dude can ball. But when I watch AJ, even though BYU didn't go far in the tournament, he left everything he had out on that court. I know what I'm going to get out of him. That's where I'm at with that. But we'll see. It's a long way to go. Akon lead Arkansas to the Final Four. You could absolutely be right. Bro could be first pick in the draft, depending on who has it. Because if it's Utah probably going to take AJ. Because they got enough guards already. So it would only make sense for them to take AJ. But even then, you got Ace Bailey. Utah is crazy, man. They got too many. They got too much talent. Too much talent to still be tanking. That's ridiculous. Keeping it on NCAA right now, we're talking about Blue Bloods, right? We talked about Kentucky. We done touched on Kansas a little bit. North Carolina, what should they do as far as Hubert Davis is concerned?
I like Hubert Davis, man. I'm old enough to remember when he played for the Knicks. But I think it's time for him to go. I think they've got to get a new voice in there. UNC hasn't really been UNC under him outside of maybe those first couple of years.
Yep.
And then he was still kind of piggybacking off, the last regime as far as some players are concerned. He hasn't really got that top tier talent in there like North Carolina can and should get. Granted, he got the young boy, Wilson, who got hurt, who we can't forget about either, because to me, he's right up there in that top 5, top 6 as well. Very good player. I'm really sorry he got hurt because I thought with him, North Carolina could have made some noise in this tournament. But I think it's his time, man. And I don't know who's a hot name or a hot candidate out there that can replace him, but it's North Carolina, man. I mean, you can probably get somebody from just about anywhere you want, depending on what the offer is, because of You know what I mean? The things that they have in their repertoire as far as recruiting, the NIL, the brand, the Jordan brand attachment, all that comes in handy, and I think you need the type of coach that can take that to the next level. So like I said, I'm not sure who that is. I don't have a name to throw out there, but I think it's time for Hubert to go.
Yeah, Hubert Davis. The resume isn't even horrible. Like, if you look at it, 125-53 overall record, 56-24 in the ACC, 8-3 in the NCAA tournament. Like, if you really break it down, you think, oh well, pretty damn good job he was doing. But it's North Carolina. He gotta go, man. And I hate to see a brother get out of a job at such a prestigious school, but it's one of those things where North Carolina has to move on. Jay Wright, if he's out there, I would love to see a Jay Wright come back in the coaching and take over a North Carolina program. I think that would be a great fit. One of the things he's going to immediately bring is accountability to the position in North Carolina. The talent's going to come with UNC. And the way he developed talent at Villanova, I could only imagine how well he would do at North Carolina if he's getting blue chip prospects. I would love to see Jay Wright take over the job at North Carolina if it opened up. So, not saying Hubert's already out the door, but if he does get out the door, Jay Wright at North Carolina would be an excellent fit. Opening day. Baseball's around the corner. You got the Orioles hat on, man. Obviously, I might have to find me some space for a Gunnar Henderson jersey, a Pete Alonso jersey at some point back here. What are your expectations for this MLB season?
I think it's going to be, the big dogs are going to still be there. The Yankees, the Dodgers once again spent a ridiculous amount of money in the offseason. The rich got richer. They kept Teoscar while also signing Kyle Tucker, which to me is insane. They added more pitching depth. And I think they've got one of the top 2 or 3 minor league systems in the league. So that means they can trade for whoever they want to on top of pay for whoever they want to. So it's just a bad combination for the league. If somebody beats them, I'd be surprised, man. I mean, Toronto had them boys on the ropes. And they just couldn't finish them off. So it'll be interesting to see. Of course, I think in the AL, the Tigers getting Scooball and bringing my man out of Houston.
Yep.
To pitch on that staff, man, 2 top-tier left-handers on that staff. That pitching staff is nasty. I would say they're probably the most complete team in the AL. Yankees, of course, are right up there. The Orioles lineup is second to none. It's all about if the pitching staff is going to stay healthy. Because we talk about that every year. Who's going to stay healthy in that rotation? And I think last year, the only person that made it through was Dean Kramer.
Right.
They just optioned Dean to the minor leagues. So, that's just what the rotation was. They didn't get that big ace like they was hoping to. I think the Chris Bassett addition was a nice one. Eflin back, like I said, Bradish and Wells healthy. We'll see. If those guys are healthy, I think the Orioles will be right there in the top 3 teams in the AL.
Yeah.
Yankees still relying on Judge and Stanton. Brought back Bellinger, of course, Jazz is still there. Aaron Judge is the best regular season baseball player in history.
James Harden.
Period. But when he gets to the postseason, like we just saw the WBC, when the lights are the brightest, he's got nothing for you. So, until he shows me different, the Yankees are first round exit the playoffs. Period. Like, I just can't see them being any more than that because they have good hitters in that lineup, but nobody else really terrifies you. Like, you'll take your chances with those guys. So, that's what I like in the AL, man. At least, like I said, the NL, the Dodgers are the clear-cut favorite. I'll be rooting for my Padres, my man Manny and Tatis, and them boys like I always am. I'm hoping they give them a run for their money. Atlanta's got Acuna back healthy, but then I think they just lost like 3 pitchers to the injury list, so who knows what's going to happen with them. Phillies are going to compete again, but I feel like they're pretty much coming back to the same exact roster. Same thing with the Diamondbacks. No real upgrades there. I think a surprise team. I think the Reds might take another step this year.
Okay.
And I like the offseason that the Pirates had. They added some veteran backs, Ozuna. Trying to think of the other guy's name. The guy from the Orioles. Just played first base.
O'Hearn?
Turnberg O'Hearn. They added O'Hearn. Some of their young guys are coming up. O'Neal Cruz looked like if he was in a weight in the offseason. Like, that dude probably bumped up like 40 pounds. And then with that pitcher that was Skeens, if they can get the boy Jones healthy, and another cat over there that pitches, they got the pitcher. If they can get some bats where they can get 4 or 5 runs a game, that's an intriguing team. But I would say the dark horse over there is probably the Reds match with the Brewers, and another team to me that stays stagnant. So,
the Dodgers are the Dodgers. Like it's the Dodgers and it's everyone else, and you're really just hoping that it's a lockout. Outside of a lockout, they're going to win it again. I mean, they add Kyle Tucker. They won last year really with a really depleted pitching staff, with being honest, right? Like, they picked up Blake Snell towards the end of the year, but the Dodgers pitching staff was not very good. Show didn't pitch really until the playoff. Very minimal. They really won a World Series with like no staff. Kershaw is washed. Like, when you really look at it, Toronto, you're right. Toronto had them on the ropes. And the one thing I don't understand about Toronto, how much you pay Bo Bichette?
They didn't believe in his defense.
Bro, so here's the thing. I'm looking at projected win totals right now. Obviously, Dodgers are the only team projected to win 100 games. They got the Yankees at 90. They got the Mets at 90, which I guess what they're saying there is Bo Bichette's supposed to offset the loss of Pete Alonso, which is not going to happen, right? They got the Phillies at 89 games. They got the Orioles down at 85, behind the Red Sox at 87, and the Blue Jays at 88. I do not believe that the Blue Jays are 3 games better than the Orioles, if the Orioles are healthy. A lot of people forget last year, the Orioles were injured. To start the year, they were injured, right? So you started the year last year without your best player. That impacted everything. Lineup thrown off from the jump. They changed lineups multiple times. Rushman's hitting first, Adley's hitting second, Adley's hitting seventh, Holiday's hitting eighth, Holiday's leadoff, Holiday's like it was just all over the place. All right, I think the Orioles this year with a much more, not just talent, but more experience is going to be important for them. And I also believe one team that is being overlooked right now, and I think it's because like it's the market that they play in most likely, is Seattle. Like I feel like Seattle still has the ability to get back and be very successful this year in the playoffs. And it's going to come down to Julio. I think we know what we're going to get out of Cal. But what are we going to get out of Julio Rodriguez, man? Can he get back into that MVP type form that he was in at one point? Because even last year when Seattle was successful, a lot of that it was this Cal Raleigh went crazy.
Yeah,
and their pitching staff is unbelievable.
absolutely.
That'll be interesting to see. The Tigers, I think they take a little bit of a step back this year, except for when they play those 12 o'clock and 1 o'clock games. They're going to win all of those.
They're undefeated in the day games.
Yeah, them day games, they ain't a team in MLB better than the Tigers in the day game. They be killing people in them day games, man. I don't know what that type of coffee they got in Detroit. I don't know what they got going on. But maybe the nightlife in Detroit be getting to the road teams or whatever the case may be. But if you play the Tigers and it's a day game, you probably going to take an L.
Hit that money line, y'all betting on it.
Right. Take that Tigers money line. But yeah, as I look around, I mean, the Rockies projected at 56 wins, National 64, White Sox, the usual suspects down at the bottom.
Yeah.
I said one thing we're looking forward to. I am very anxious to see, Joe, throughout this season, what happens with Mike Trout, right? Angels are projected to have 70 wins this season. What team out there makes a play for Mike Trout at the deadline or before the deadline? Because right now what's happening is his talent is getting wasted. And I feel like he could be a key component to someone being able to challenge the Dodgers, right? Who does that end up being? For me, I hope it's not the Yankees. I feel like that's a team that always is willing to spend money. They have prospects. So they'll typically go and dip and dash. And they need a right-handed bat, technically, because they're not getting what they thought they would get from Stanton. So what do you think about that situation with Mike Trout?
Well, everything I've heard about Mike Trout is he just doesn't want to leave. Which I can't blame him because I love something. I absolutely get you say that, Mike. I'm right there with you. I'm on the way. I'll be there in a few weeks. But, I think if he go anywhere, I would see the Phillies making a play for him.
Okay.
Because I know he is. I think he's from kind of the New Jersey area.
Yep.
So I think that might be a team that he will be willing to go to, and he still would be kind of at least closer to his family on the East Coast. But I honestly just don't. Because he has a no trade clause, I honestly just don't think he wants to leave at this point, man. I think he's fine with. He's like, I haven't won, and it kind of is what it is. And he's just playing out his days for whatever reason. I mean, and I kind of felt the same way about with the third baseman Arenado that was in St. Louis that just took the train over to the Diamondbacks. I was kind of surprised with that. Because he was kind of on that same wave. But yeah, man, I would be very surprised if Mike Trout is anywhere but Anaheim. And I agree with you. His talent being wasted. I would love to see that guy win. I honestly think they probably should have still found a spot for him on the WBC roster. But
wow.
Yeah, man. I honestly just hope Mike stay healthy for a year and can give us 120 games out of 162, man. That to me, that would be dope.
Yeah. No, that's the WBC thing is interesting because I was thinking man, who else could the U.S. have had on that roster? And you just saying Mike Trout, that resonated. And I'm like, damn, they didn't have Mike Trout on that team.
Yeah.
That's crazy. This is who went to the Phillies. I couldn't think of the outfielder that went to the Phillies. It was Adolis Garcia from the Rangers.
Right, yeah.
So they picked him up. Yeah, they picked him up. He had a really down year last year. I think Mike Trout, the Philly, makes a lot of sense if you're not seeing what you need out of Adolis Garcia about midway through the season. Mike, I just want to see him have a chance.
Adolis was a swap out for they don't have Castellanos anymore. Castellanos is on San Diego now.
Yeah.
Same type of guy. Same guy.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So, and the Phillies lost some guys. I think they lost Ranger, right? Suarez. Then he went to Boston.
Yeah, went to Boston. Yeah, I know they got the Orioles we're talking to.
Yeah. Well, the Orioles talk to everybody. They just don't close the deal. They just don't close the deal. Anything else you got for us today, bro, before we close it out?
Man, that's it for right now, man. Y'all take it easy. Stay tuned. We're going to get back with y'all soon.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. It's been a while. It's good to catch up.